popping pussy like pimples. Send my brother like kinfolk. You get spun in the simple.
Every type of cannabis explained, from weakest to strongest.
Okay.
We'll be looking at everything from the near oregano, low-grade flower that you probably smoked in high school to the most insane, near 100% THC concentrates that are sold at the top shelves of Cali dispensaries. Additionally, with the help of science and medical studies, we'll be categorizing each type of cannabis in the spectrum of entertainment, medical, creativity, and just plain old unhealthy. The objective of this video is to educate the public about the positives and negatives of weed in an entertaining way, but to do that, it is essential we discover how extremely varying different types of marijuana can be and why generalizing it as weed is good or weed is bad is just plain impossible. So without further ado, let's get into the weakest type of za there is, and that is low percentage THC flower and or CBD dominant strains. Okay, so I went into this video presuming you already know what THC and CBD is, but in case you don't, let's quickly summarize. THC is the chemical compound found in cannabis that makes you when the Family Guy becomes so funny, aka the munchies, laughter, feelings of euphoria, and overall its psychoactive effects come from THC. And CBD is the compound that reduces anxiety and can potentially help against depression.
On a plate is
although
crazy.
The latter isn't as conclusive.
That is
There's
crazy.
also two distinct types of cannabis unrelated to its THC percentage called sativa and indica, with sativa providing more of an energetic mind high and indica leaning towards a relaxing body high. So when we are talking about low percentage THC flower, aka 1 to 6% THC with a high concentration of CBD, we are in the realms of medical marijuana, meaning this type of weed, besides pure CBD of course, is the least intoxicating and can be potentially helpful to people with varying mental health issues. Just always keep in mind, smoking anything is harmful for our lungs, and even though this type of cannabis can be considered medical, it really depends on the person, their psyche, and what issues they are experiencing. So now we know low percentage THC flower links to the medical side, but what about entertainment and creativity? Well, although this type of cannabis won't have you staring at your wall for 30 minutes plotting your trip to the kitchen, it can, however, still give you a different perspective on things. Unrealistic feelings of euphoria and cartoonish thoughts probably won't occur, but that doesn't mean your creativity won't be affected at all. You might not come up with the next Rick and Morty while under the influence of this gas,
you're gonna need some shrooms or acid for that.
Creative solutions to pre-existing problems, or give you a slightly different perspective on what you're doing. Coupled with the high concentration of CBD, which could help you feel more at ease and reduce possible anxiety that might have been attached to you before, this type of weed is best for beginners or people who could be trying to reduce their weed dependency without going straight off cold turkey, and that's why it lands itself in the far end of the medical spectrum, but not so much in the creativity and entertainment part of the fucking thing. Anyway, moving on, mid-grade THC flower, the mid-shelf gas. I won't go over this too long, as it's quite similar to the previous one, but with slight differences. Mid-grade flower usually ranges between 10 to 20% THC with varying levels of CBD, which general rule of thumb is for medical use, go with the highest CBD percentage, and if you just want to get faded with your friends and play split-screen Minecraft, get the one with the highest THC. Just make sure it still has some CBD in it so you don't, well, bring the fuck out. Why I say that is because contrary to popular belief, CBD and THC do not bind the same receptors in our brains, but through various studies and my own personal experience, CBD in most cases can reduce the adverse effects caused by THC, aka freaking out, feelings of discomfort, spikes in anxiety, etc. That's why even if you're an experienced stoner, it's good to have some CBD oil or flower that can help you if you're getting those unwanted side effects from some high percentage THC cannabis. That's why it's always good to consume products that don't just have high potency and get you very faded, but also represent the full spectrum of cannabinoids. Something like today's sponsor, Not CBD high potency 10mg gummies. These gummies are legal nationwide, and there are so many benefits to digesting instead of smoking, the most obvious being of course the preservation of healthy lungs. But what many people also don't realize is that by digesting the cannabinoids, they become stronger and longer lasting. So instead of having to constantly re-up to keep the good vibes going, all you need is a singular gummy and you're set for almost a whole day. And to help you make the switch over to a nationwide legal and healthier alternative, Not CBD is currently offering the viewers of this video a special holiday buy one get one free deal. Yes, you heard right. All you have to do is be at least 21, go to the pinned comment and pick 2 gummy flavors of your choice. Then use my code CBDBRO at checkout and get one of them completely free. We don't want no CBD, but now, back to the video. So this type of weed lends itself higher in creativity and entertainment, but a bit lower in terms of its medical benefits. Moving on,
bro.
high percentage
I'm gonna have to
THC
stand up
flower,
in this
aka
motherfucker, like,
premium
dang.
bud. This is the point where we start leaning much further away from the medical side into the entertainment.
Alright, guys, the video has just started. What do we got?
Usually ranges between 20 to 35% THC.
Okay, that sounded. Now we back on a good level of concept of talking.
Or sometimes nearly zero CBD,
That's
which
great.
is why I said that this
That's
is the
what we
point
wanna
where
see.
really start deviating away
Zero.
from the term medical cannabis.
Hell
But you
no,
might be
X that
asking,
out.
why can't I just get my flower with both high CBD and THC, you stupid Well, let me explain. Cannabis plants can naturally express high levels of either
Selling
THC or
CBD on
CBD,
YouTube
but
is
rarely
crazy,
both. This is
bro.
because THC
That's
and
crazy
CBD
work.
are derived
That's
from the same
scammer work
precursor,
right there, you
CBGA.
heard?
The plant's genetics determine which enzyme, THC synthase or CBD synthase, is more active. In high THC strains, the THC synthase enzyme dominates, converting most CBGA into THC, leaving little room for CBD production. To add to it, cannabis growers have traditionally bred plants to maximize THC levels because of its psychoactive effects, which are highly sought after in recreational markets. Over time, this
Recreational is recreational, but it's AI bot is a bot.
as the two cannabinoids tend to work in an inverse
No,
relationship.
they are the
So it's
CBD
also
out of the
unfortunately us, the
CBD or
consumer's
some
fault
shit.
that super high THC and low CBD percentage is the
That shit
baseline for
crazy.
top shelf gas these days. With brands constantly trying to compete with each other and providing the most mind-boggling high possible, there isn't really a lot of demand for high percentage CBD flower that still gets you very high.
exactly.
People buying
That
weed for
tumbleweed, yeah, that's what you're
recreational
gonna get in
usually
your
only
store.
care about the get you very high part. But I'm not saying that there is absolutely no place for
It's
this type
weird
of
how
weed
I'm
in
hot
the
and
medical
cold right
world,
now.
but it is
I'm
extremely
hot and cold. Like, I'm
The same
sweating,
way
but
as
I'm
inviting a
cold.
friend out to have a couple
Don't make
drinks
no
and watch the
sense.
game on a Saturday night to alleviate the stress and anxiety from a hard week of work. This high THC flower can be a fun night to blow off steam and take your mind off real world problems for a while because, well, this shit could have you so obliterated you'll be
I'm
using
hot,
100% of your
sweating,
brain
my
power
feet
on figuring
cold
out how to
ASAP.
tie
That
your
shit crazy,
shoe,
bro.
bruh.
And my
AKA,
feet
this
cold
is
too, and I would not put no
imagination
socks on,
I'm
bro,
kinda
because
going
I
off
don't
personal
like wearing
experience on
socks
this,
unless
but
I'm
the
going
artists and
somewhere.
musicians I know seem to enjoy this type of cannabis the most, as it can completely
Shit
block off
crazy,
the
bruh.
real world and enter you into this trance state where you are 100% focused on whatever you are doing. But CBD, bro, doesn't that mean it helps with ADHD and anxiety? In the moment it can,
Put in
unless,
that one
well,
on
you
of
couldn't
2
handle it and are
LMAO.
instead rolled up in a ball on your couch focusing on defeating your demons.
review.
Anyway, multiple medical studies have shown that high concentration THC flower does not help against anxiety, depression, and ADHD
I don't got
at all.
socks on
What it
as
does
well.
instead is
Don't
give
need
you an
no
escape
socks,
from
big
your
dog. Let
ADHD,
them toes
depression, or
freeze.
anxiety for a brief
Yes,
moment whilst
sir.
under the influence, and even that doesn't come without a cost. As if you smoke too much of this high THC flower, or really any weed, you'll build up a dependency, and in return feel even more distracted, have more anxiety, and increased levels of depression whilst not under
My
the
shoe
influence.
size,
Yeah,
like,
I don't know what
If
he's
your
talking
friend
about,
claims to
big
be
dog.
smoking that
My shoe
top
size
shelf
like
Zaza
48
for
AU.
anything
Yeah,
else
I
than
don't
a
even
fun
know what that
time,
mean,
he's
big dog.
either
Like,
lying to you,
I don't
himself,
think we
or
measure
he's
our
just been
shoes. Oh,
smoking up for
48
so
inches.
long, he doesn't
Yeah,
even
but we
remember
definitely
what it
don't
was
measure our
like to be
shoes in
sober in
inches.
the
That's
first
like
place.
10 to
So for
12,
everything we
or I
talked
wear 10 and a
about, I
half.
have to place this type of
Let me
cannabis
check.
right on the border of unhealthy and medical, with a very high level of creativity and entertainment. But now let's talk about our first non-farm to table cannabis, and that is hash, aka traditional concentrate. Hash, short for hashish, is one of the oldest cannabis concentrates made by collecting and compressing the trichomes, resin glands, of the cannabis plant. These trichomes contain the plant's cannabinoids and terpenes, making hash potent and flavorful. The potency varies heavily depending on the plant that was used to make it, but in general they can range anywhere between 20 to 60% THC. The biggest difference that me and other smokers I've talked to have noticed is that the high from hash, although quite strong, is usually shorter. And because this stuff is concentrated, 1 gram of hash will almost
12 to
always get you
14.
higher than 1 gram of flour. The good thing about hash
Depends
is
on the
that
shoe.
it is concentrated cannabis, it is
Big
still
ass
natural.
foot.
Traditional methods of making hash do
That
not
man
use
big
any
foot.
chemicals or solvents. Instead, they rely on
Goddamn
mechanical
big ass
processes
feet, bro.
like
Don't go
rubbing,
kicking nobody.
sifting,
You
or
gonna
using
goddamn
ice water
kick
to
'em through a
extract the
damn
resin.
wall.
Because of the wide variety of
Shit.
potency, it's quite hard to place this on our spectrum, but I'm going to put it just a bit closer to the medical side than the high potency flower, and a bit less to the creative side due to its shorter duration, which can make entering that trance state I talked about a bit harder.
In the
Other
Hungarian
concentrates,
Bigfoot.
60 to 95%.
I'm Hungarian
THC.
Bigfoot.
Besides hash,
Hey,
there's like
hey,
10
that's-
different
that's-
ways
that's
to
low-key a fine
concentrate
name.
from the Zaza.
Damn, it's 1204,
some
bro.
of which don't use
604 over
solvents
here.
and some that do.
That
If I
shit
were to
crazy.
go over every single one individually, this video would probably be like 30 minutes. And since there isn't really a huge difference in potency between them, I'll quickly summarize. Rosin, made by applying heat and pressure to cannabis flower, key for hash to extract resin. Live rosin, resin, a solventless concentrate made from fresh frozen cannabis that's first turned into bubble hash and then pressed into rosin. Shatter or wax, extracted using butane or propane and then purged to remove residual solvents. Live resin, extracted from flash frozen cannabis using butane or propane, then purged. Diamonds, THC crystals. THC is crystallized using hydrocarbons and solvent-based processes. THC distillate. Cannabinoids are extracted using solvents, aka ethanol or CO2, and then refined through distillation. Phew. And those are the most popular concentrates, which the most flavorful are usually live resin or rosin, as these retain the most terpenes.
That shit crazy, but Christmas over there.
Are usually diamonds
Christmas
or
Eve
THC
over here.
distillate.
Yeah, that shit crazy,
the reality is, unless you're like
crazy.
a super stoner, you probably won't be able to tell much of a difference between all of them, as every single concentrate is bound to get you absolutely bamboozled, unless you know, of course, you have an insane tolerance. The main takeaway from concentrated THC is that it builds up your Zaza tolerance very fast compared to regular bud because of its high potency and usually shorter duration, making you smoke up more often. Which is why I will be placing them closer to the unhealthy side, but also the entertainment side due to the mind-boggling high it gives. But now onto the strongest type of smokable weed there is, in my opinion, and that is infused flower, aka Moonrock or Sunrock, 50 to 80% THC. You might be asking yourself why infused flower is ranked higher than concentrates when the THC percentage is actually lower. Well, take it from me, as someone who has done both dabs, aka concentrate, and infused flower, the small difference in THC percentage really doesn't matter in this case. The reason for that is, unlike dabs or the Benjamin, which on average has a shorter duration than bud, infused flower gives you the insane kick of concentrate whilst also providing the longer effect of normal bud, which in my eyes makes this the most potent smokable weed on planet Earth. But feel free to have a war in the comments.
Smart guy.
I'll be reading every single one like
smart guy.
Placement on the spectrum will almost be the same as concentrate, but because you won't be smoking up as frequently and in return damaging your lungs a bit less, I'll put it just a bit closer to the medical side, but still definitely unhealthy. Now for the last type of Zaza that is in a league of its own, and that is of course edibles. Infinite THC percentage. Why I rank Eddies as the strongest type of weed is quite simple. In the act of cooking cannabis, it turns into something different, something otherworldly, something psychedelic. If you watch some of my other videos, you'd know that I view super potent edibles as something entirely different than normal weed. I'd even go as far and compare them to mushrooms. And science has my back on this because when you digest THC in your liver, it turns into something far more potent, and return when you go to the cinema and watch Oppenheimer, you'll probably be overwhelmed and geeked up. Watch the video on the screen and you'll know exactly what I mean. Oh, and because you're not damaging your lungs and control doses, I'd say this is by far the healthiest way to consume cannabis, so far in medical, far in entertainment, but not so much creative because you'll most likely be immobilized. Thanks for watching. Bye.
Hey, 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 how you made this shit go? Bitch, I got gas like a sicko. She poppin' pussy like pimples. Send my brother like kinfolk. You get spun in the symbol.